In this video, we'll look at the WASSCE 2023 Core Mathematics, that is the Nigerian paper objective question number 21. And this says that find the value of m in the diagram, and the diagram is this. It is not drawn to scale. We have three angles here. We have the angle m, we have this angle is the angle 90 degrees or the right angle, and that is 40 degrees angle. So we are asked to find the value of the angle m in the diagram here. Before we start, if today is your first time on my students class channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button so that you'll be promptly informed anytime we upload a new video. And hey, one more thing, click the like button so that the video can reach a lot of people. Thank you. Now let's continue. Alright, so what we do is that we will draw the diagram to have a look at it here. Alright, so we see some two arrows on these two lines, and we see some also here. This implies that this line and that line are parallel. It means that they will never meet. And you know, when you see parallel lines, it should tell you that you should apply the properties of parallel lines. So when you see parallel lines, you should be thinking about some angles like alternate angles, corresponding angles, vertically opposite angles, semi-interior or co-interior angles, and others. So let me put in the angles here. We have m here. There is a right angle that is 90 degrees, and there is the angle 40 degrees here. So what do you think is the value m, or the value of the angle m? Is it 140 degrees, 130, 50, or 40 degrees? Okay, the idea here is to, we have three angles here. We have 40, 90, and m. So the idea is to bring all these three angles together. If I can put these three angles in a triangle, or maybe close to a triangle, then I can apply a property of triangle. Say the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is 180 degrees, or say the sum of two interior angles of a triangle is equal to one opposite exterior angle. So the idea is to bring all the three angles together. So how can I do that? Now there are three ways I can do that. Because I have three angles, I can bring two of them to the other one. So I'm going to do it this way. First, let me extend this line so that you see what I mean. So I'm extending this line because they are parallel lines. You can extend lines to infinity. So when you have parallel lines, you have to extend them. Now, the moment you draw parallel lines, the other thing you should be looking out for is what we call the transverse line, or you can simply call it transversal. When we say a transversal, or let me say a transverse line, is a line that cuts across parallel lines. So when I draw something like this and I have a line crossing the parallel lines, we call this line the transverse line. As simple as that. So that is the transverse line. Alright, so the idea here is that a transverse line runs through, but if you look at this line here, it is not even one line. This line comprises two lines. It is a crooked line, right? So the idea is to have one straight line running through so that I can apply the properties of parallel lines. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to extend this line. I'm going to extend it this way to cut through the entire parallel lines here. So when I do that, then this line becomes my transverse line. So now I can apply the properties of parallel lines. Now look at this here. Now we have something that we call alternate angles. If you can draw Z in the parallel lines, then the angle here is equal to the angle here. We call these two angles alternate angles. All right. So if you look at this, we have a similar one here. I can draw a Z here. Look at this. 1, then I can come down here, 2, and I can go this way 3. So this means that the angle here is the same as the angle here. In other words, the angle here is 40 degrees. And look at this angle too. So I have been able to bring this angle up here, 40 and m. And even the 90, I can have the 90 also on this side. Look at this too. 90 and the angle here are supplementary. In other words, they are on a straight line. They are straight line angles. So the angle here and the angle here should sum up to 180. So if here is 90, then here too is 90, because 90 plus 90 is 180. So if you look at what I have here right now, that is a triangle. I have a triangle here. Look at this. 1, 2, and then 3. I have a triangle here, and the angle here is 40, here too is 90. But what is the angle here? If here is m, then here is 180 minus m. So I can simply apply one law, about triangles. Now when you have a triangle and say here is A, here is B, and the angle here is C. And you know, these are called interior angles. Let's put another angle here, say D. Let's put another one here, say E. Let me put one here, say F. You know, we call these exterior angles, E, D, F, R, exterior. Now, when you take the interior angles, say two of them, A and B, and you add them, you know, we have the third interior angle we did not add. All right, that third interior angle, its adjacent exterior angle, will always be directly opposite to the sum of the two. So what we are saying is that the sum of this A and B is equal to the D. So we say the sum of two interior angles is equal to one opposite exterior angle. Now, in the same vein, if I take there, say A and C, if I take A and C and I add A to C, what I did not add is the B. So the angle that is adjacent to the B, that is the F, is equal to A plus C. So the sum of these two interior angles is equal to this one opposite exterior angle. Now, if I were to take, say, B and C, B plus C, the interior angle that I did not add is A. All right. So this means that B plus C is equal to the exterior angle that is adjacent to the A, and that is the angle A. So the sum of these two interior angles is equal to one opposite exterior angle. Now, if you look at the diagram that we have here, these are interior angles, 1, 2, then we have one here, 3, that we don't know, right? So the sum of these two should be equal to this one exterior angle. In other words, what I want to say is that 90 here plus the 40 should be equal to the M, and 90 plus 40 is 130 equals M. So this means that M is 130 degrees, and that is option B here. So it's 130. Now let us also look at a second way. All right, so the first thing we do here is, you know, these two lines are parallel, so we extend them. So let us extend the parallel lines. So always when you have parallel lines, try and extend them. Okay, and when you have parallel lines, you should have a transverse line or a transversal going through them. Now, you know, I said that we have three angles, right? M, 90, and 40, and in the first solution we sent 40 and 90 to where M is. Now we want to extend this line to form our transversal. So when we extend this line, then we can also bring the M down here. Now look at this. The moment we extend it, we can draw the Z here. 1, then we can come down here, 2. So the moment we extend the line, we can draw the Z here. So we have 1, then we can come down here. So we have 2, then we go this way, 3. So this means the angle here is the same as the angle here, all right, the Z. Now that also means that the angle here, the M2, is equal to the angle right here. So here is M. There is a triangle, so if we can know the angle here, then the sum of these two interior angles will be equal to this one opposite exterior angle. But if here is 90 and there is a straight line, angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So if here is 90, then of course here too is 90. Then we can apply the triangle law that the sum of two interior angles is equal to one opposite exterior angle. In other words, we say that M is equal to 40 plus 90, and M will be equal to 130 degrees. So we get the same thing here. All right. So if you look at this solution, we have been able to bring the angle here and there down, so that we have the 40, 90, and M down here. In our first solution, we sent the 40 and 90 up there, so that we had the M, 90, and 40 up there. Now there is a third way that we can do this. Because we have three angles, we can also bring the 40 and the M to the middle here, so that we will have the 90 and the M and the 40. So let us also look at that. I'm going to use this. I'm going to extend this line. So let me extend this line, okay? And I will also extend this because they are parallel lines here. All right, now this time around I want to bring these two angles at the center. So I'm going to draw another parallel line. Because there is a point here, I can draw a parallel line through it. You know, when there is a point, we can draw a line through it. But I'm going to draw a line, and I will say let my line be parallel to the other lines. So I'll have a parallel line also running through this. Okay, now because this is also a parallel line, it makes this line here a transverse line because it goes that way, right? So I can have the Z here, 1 2 3. So I have the Z here. Let me show you. 1, then I come down here, 2, then 3. So this means that the angle here is 40 degrees. Now what is also happening here is that this means this line here too is also a transverse line for these two parallel lines. Okay, and the angle here and the angle here are called co-interior angles. They are called co-interior angles, or you can also call them half, that is semi-interior angles. Semi-interior angles or co-interior angles add up to 180 degrees. So that is to say that the angle here too is 90. Let's say if here was say x, then it means m plus x is 180 degrees. So that means x will be 180 minus m. So if I want the angle here, it is 180 minus m. If here is m, then here is 180 minus m. Now look at the thing here. The whole of the angle here, we are told it is 90. And now we have divided that 90 and we have 40 here. And we are saying here is 180 minus m. So what can we say? We can say that if the whole thing here is 90 and we have here to be 40, then what is left here is 50. But we are saying this 50 is the same as 180 minus m. All right, so that means we can find m, can't we? Of course we can. So let us make m the subject. We will have negative m here, then we have 50 minus 180 here, and when we take 180 from 50 we have negative 130, and this will also be negative m. So we have negative 130 equals negative m, and when we divide through by negative 1 we have m to be 130 again. So whichever way that you solve it, either you want to bring the angles down here, you want to bring them to the middle as we see here, or you want to send them up there. All that you have to do is that you draw your parallel lines and you find a transverse line or a transversal.